Alabama went into Death Valley and put a dying LSU team into its grave. And they also did the same thing to Arkansas. But specifically for the LSU game, the metrics and the models predicted this type of game would happen. Shout out to the college football nerds whose model said the game could be 77-28. And honestly, Alabama could have gotten there if they wanted to. I think Nick and the team didn't like what LSU did after they won the game last year. One of the lesser talked about points in the aftermath of this game was that the Alabama defensive line took a step forward, and that's what we're going to talk about today. Of course, my name is Brian Glaze, college football content creator analyst here on YouTube, and I give detailed breakdowns and analysis of the games. If that sounds like something you're interested in, subscribe to the channel, turn on the notifications on YouTube and in your phone, and we're going to talk a little bit about how the defensive line hasn't become great overnight by any means, but these young players seem to be playing with a bit more discipline and confidence, and that is leading to them affecting the QB more often. I'm going to show you 4 plays that highlight this point. Before we do that, I ask you to join me on Scene. It's an app that allows us to have a live chat while we watch the game. You specifically access my channel, #BrianGlazeLive, and you download the app on the Play Store or the App Store, and we can do the SEC Championship game live commentary together. With that said, here are the plays. So in this first play, we're in the fourth quarter here, 8 minutes and 39 seconds left in the game. Alabama's in a 4-2-5 zone defense versus the LSU 11 personnel close wide receiver set out of the pistol formation. Alabama's going to rush 4 and drop 7 into coverage here. And you can tell this is a zone because the 2 outside corners are not lined up directly over their receivers, and they seem to be bound to a designated area. The front 4 are the stars of this play, particularly Chris Allen and Will Anderson at right end and left end respectively were very disruptive. And let's focus on Chris first. See how he rushes upfield and gives the impression that he is about to engage the left tackle directly? That slight movement he gave caused the left tackle to stop his kick set in an attempt to launch forward for a block. Unfortunately for him, Chris Allen's slight inside move was a feint, and he immediately continued his rush upfield. You have to be fairly quick to make that seamless, so this is quite impressive in my eyes. Allen explodes past the hip of the left tackle and is on a beeline for the freshman QB Max Johnson. While this is going on, Will Anderson is also rushing upfield with ease also. Will has more of a straight upfield rush, so the right tackle immediately engages him on the block, but Anderson's speed is nice here. Notice that the right tackle has become vertical to the line of scrimmage, one hip facing the line of scrimmage and one hip facing the opposite direction as Anderson goes upfield. He's in bad position now because Anderson just has to disengage and chase Max Johnson. Anderson's rush here is aided by the fact that Chris Allen forced Johnson back and didn't allow him to step up in the pocket. They worked in tandem though because both of them had such a good upfield edge rush that the QB retreated by taking steps back, making it easier to corral him. Johnson just had to get rid of the ball and not throw it toward the running back heading upfield on the right sideline. Of course, this is an incomplete pass. This is not to mention the fact that Malachi Moore's play recognition allowed him to put pressure on the throw by covering that running back leaking out late. And this was overall a great defensive play. And so with that said, we're going to move on to the next play, whereas this is in the third quarter with 7 minutes and 8 seconds left in the game, and the LSU offense is in 12 personnel, 1 running back, 2 tight ends with the wide receivers close as opposed to out wide, and the tight end flexed out right as well. Finley is in the shotgun with Davis Price at left of him, and Alabama's running that nickel 4-2-5 zone defense. And as usual, you can tell with the placement of the outside corners, although in this case, Josh Jobe is lined up over a Boutte at the top of the screen in a press set. And if you see Surtain at the field corner position at the bottom of the screen, you can see he is out wide in his designated area, indicating the zone assignment. This is most likely a combo coverage, and Jobe is playing man on his side of the field, while the other half of the D is playing zone. Notice that Alabama has Malachi Moore, the nickelback, near his assignment at the line of scrimmage. Also pay attention to Chris Allen in a standing position at the right outside linebacker spot. At the snap, Allen is going to drop into zone while Malachi Moore comes on a blitz, although it's probably more for leverage rather than pass rush. LSU leaves 7 people in to block the 4 Bama rushers. Needless to say, there is no pressure on this play. The 7 Alabama defenders and covers do a good job because Finley decides to take his check down to tight end number 2, Gilbert, who is basically a wide receiver, on a drag route going toward the left side of the field. This is right in front of Chris Allen's zone, though, so he comes forward to make a tackle. Where he shines here is that not only does he run through his tackle while wrapping up the receiver, he simultaneously attacks the ball as he is falling toward the ground on the tackle. He uses gravity to increase the pressure he put on the hand carrying the ball. He quite easily rips the ball out of the tight end's hand as he goes to the ground. I was quite impressed with this play because of how natural he made it look, and this was a well-earned ball-out belt. And so that actually moves us along to the next play, and it's still in the third quarter with 11 minutes and 3 seconds left in the quarter, and it's on a 2nd and 6. LSU in the shotgun, 11 personnel, 1 running back, 1 tight end, 4 wide set. The tight end is flexed out right as one of the receivers at the bottom of the screen. Alabama's in a 4-2-5 nickel zone defense as well. and they'll continue to play their pattern match zone. LSU has 5 receiver options here, therefore they have a 5-man protection. Alabama only rushes the front 4. The entire front 4 did great on this play. The 2 interior defensive linemen do a good job of remaining stout in the middle. Christian Barmore in particular takes on 2 blockers and seems to be having no trouble. He engages by using a swim-like move with his left arm as he goes over the top of the right guard and the center's attempt at engaging him and effectively knocking the center's arms down. This prevents them from getting within his chest and controlling him. Usually you don't want to open up your torso to the lineman like that, but since he knocked the arms down, it worked out. It knocks the center off balance a bit as Barmore seems to be just a bit stronger than him, although it's still a double team. So as Barmore tries to maneuver back over to the outside shoulder of the center, he is met by the right guard who has to commit rather than help his right tackle, getting bullied by Will Anderson. Before I address that, I'll just comment that the other interior defensive lineman was Timothy Smith, number 50, and he's a true freshman who has been getting more playing time lately. While he didn't get a big push, he didn't get moved out of the rushing lane, and he got enough push to keep that middle congested enough. Now, we can talk about Will Anderson at left end making the right tackle look bad. To his credit, the right tackle did a solid enough job with his feet as he positioned himself to prevent an inside rush from Anderson and to force a wider pass rush arc. Anderson notices this and decides to bull rush the right tackle. He does it smartly as well. He engages the right tackle first with his hands as he pushes forward. He makes sure that his hands are inside the chest of the right tackle, so when the right tackle responds, he has his hands in outside placement of Anderson's arms and he isn't able to get into his chest. Anderson's speed converted to power with inside hand placement leads to the obvious result of Anderson pushing the right tackle into the vicinity of Finley. While this is going on, Byron Young, number 47, another true freshman, is doing something similar to LSU's left tackle. While the left tackle has solid enough footwork to be in front, his leverage is off. He is standing way too high as he moves. Byron Young comes right at him for a bull rush from the start and gets his hands inside and high into the chest. Combine the left tackle's leverage with this attack, and you see Byron Young push the left tackle right into the QB's vicinity. Byron Young made this look easy. Put this together and now you have Finley's pocket cramped. With the coverage being good, Finley has to hold the ball and he tries to escape. Byron Young and Will Anderson disengage with their blockers by ripping inside and grabbing the quarterback. And that just ultimately made a really nice play with some good pressure by those guys. And we're going to move on to another play. And it's the second quarter with 9 minutes and 32 seconds left before the half on 3rd and 14. LSU has 11 personnel again on the field, 1 running back, 1 tight end, and a shotgun formation. Alabama responded with the typical 4-2-5 nickel pattern match zone defense. Alabama is only rushing the front 4 here while 7 are in coverage. LSU runs a play action pass, probably trying to influence those zone defenders to bite. The Bama front 4 runs a stunt on the left side of the line. If you don't know what a stunt is, it's 2 players using positioning to generate a pass rush. Specifically, 1 player crashes down on the blocker, hopefully 2 of them so as to occupy both, while the other loops around that point of contact with the running start to get through the gap or push back any blocker that has entered that space. Bama runs a stunt with the defensive tackle Barmore and the left end Will Anderson. Barmore crashes to the outside while Will Anderson loops around to the A-gap. Barmore actually pushes to the outside shoulder of the right tackle while Anderson zooms to the A-gap on the inside shoulder of the right guard. He's so quick that the right guard can't get in front of him. Anderson is actually past him, but the right guard wisely shuts him down, just discreetly enough for it not to be seen as a block in the back. Luckily for Anderson, this still gets the job done as Finley sees this pressure and is forced to step up because not only did Anderson break through, but Barmore was pushing upfield on the right tackle and about to disengage. While this is going on, DJ Dale is doing a solid enough job of holding up the double team he is facing, and Byron Young got beat by a good move from the left tackle, but luckily his leverage didn't come into play here. Finley tries to step up past the crawling Anderson and the barreling Barmore, but Barmore is so close now that he is able to reach forward and strip Finley of the ball as he falls forward. That was a nice heads-up play by Barmore to attack the ball there. While the young defensive line was nowhere near perfect here, they made a play out of nothing somehow. Either way, Malachi Moore and Dylan Moses were coming back up to clean up the scramble, so this most likely would have been a punt regardless, but fortunately for Alabama, it ended up as a sack for DJ Dale, who disengaged the blockers and made sure to get Finley down as he recovered the ball. That young Alabama defensive line seems to be coming around, and if they start to get consistently better in their gap discipline and confidence, they're going to scare teams, and the defense could take a really big step forward, which in that next game against Arkansas, they continue kind of what they built upon here, and they just seem to have gotten better and better as the season went along. And unfortunately for Florida, they're playing Alabama at a point in the season where the defensive line has had time to play 10 games. And I'm interested to see how much growth they can have as the season winds down. Do they get even better this weekend as they go into the playoffs? There's obviously a lot of talent here, but the question is how much of their potential will be actualized this season, the 2020-21 season. So my question for you is, what do you think about that? Do you think they'll be really good? Do you think they're starting to round out? And how much more do you think they have in them? So if you enjoyed this video, click on the video to the left. It's a video from my channel that the YouTube algorithm suggests that you watch, and they're usually right because they know your viewing habits. Also, click on the video to the right if you want to see the last video that I made. Thank you for watching. I'll see you next time. Leave me your predictions for the SEC championship game and all the other championship games in the comments below.